Alrighty YouTube, how are you guys doing today? In this video I'm going to go over iOS 5, the Gold Master release, which is the final thing before it's released to the public next week. Just going to go over some of the new features, give you my views on it, and hopefully if you guys can give your input or if you've been going over the various betas and this final release. The first feature that I'd like to mention, and I guess this is the thing that got me really excited when iOS 5 was kind of demoed on stage, is notifications on iOS. And it's quite simple, it's really nice how they've laid it out. So you just basically swipe down on the top left and boom, there we go. I've got a text message and I've got a tweet, gives me my local weather, and it's got the stocks running as well. And if I really want to clear them, you can have emails, apps, and app information, app updates. Just hit clear, my brother texts me, clear, boom. It's quite nice. So even if you're in any kind of setting, you know, let's say I'm in this brightness setting, I can simply just go down and view my, notifications. I don't need to be inside, some sort of application or the main screen. I can do it anytime just by, let's go into maps and scroll down, boom, here's all my notifications. And it's actually quite identical in the iPad. Here in the back you can see, boom, one left scroll in the bottom and you've got all your notifications up, which is pretty neat. Alright, so the next feature that I want to show you is iMessage, which again is really sweet. So let's go ahead and play this game and let's have a bit of fun. And while I'm playing this game and I'm quite epically failing at it, wait, we need a rocket, wait, we've got a rocket. We're playing ahead, let's go ahead and send this message behind me on the iPad, and of course the iPad is going to send the message to this iPhone, and there we go, at the top we have a notification, Jobby, which, I know you always want to send yourself these messages, don't you? But the fact, it's not stopping the game, it's just kind of very neatly, just kind of appearing for a few seconds at the top, and that's it. And when you've played your game, or once you've completed your game, you can go back to Notification Center. So basically the kind of concept is, you've got a message on your iPhone, and you think you want to just kind of pause the game, and then, go into a Notification Center, boom, you've got a new message. Or heck, if you're playing the game and you don't want to even press the pause button, just simply scroll down and boom, it opens up, and if you go back, it's already paused it for you, which is pretty neat, wouldn't you say so? Okay, so the next thing we're going to do is send a picture to our iPhone using iMessage, and let's go ahead and take a brand new picture, and there we go. Oh, isn't that a nice couple? Let's take this photo and use and fire it across to the iPhone, which of course is behind here. And doesn't everyone use their iPad to take pictures? Every guy and his nan and his dog uses the iPad to take pictures at concerts, on the street. It's one of the most used devices in terms of, taking pictures. Would you agree or disagree? We should be having this message on the iPhone any second now, hopefully. It's not going to fail on me. Let's check the progress, and there we go. One attachment, and it gives you a notification up here, so let's go ahead and tap into this, which, hey, what do we have here? We have the pictures. Now another cool thing is, let's say if I am replying to myself on the iPad, it will give you a kind of pop-up saying I am replying. So basically if you're expecting a reply and you're about to kind of put your head against a desk or a wall because you're not receiving the message, at least it's a good indication that I am indeed typing, so all you have to do is wait for a few seconds. So let's go ahead and type something and you'll see a pop-up coming up. Hey, there we go. So it's a nice feature. You don't have to pay for iMessage, of course, and if you don't have to pay for anything, it just makes the whole kind of everything in line. So if you've got various iPod touches, I say various, if you've got an iPod touch in the house, an iPad, an iPhone, it's kind of a cost-effective way of kind of communicating, I guess. One of the other new things in iOS 5 is a new app called Reminders, and as the name kind of suggests, you basically kind of put reminders in for yourself. So get a haircut, and I can't spell hair. There we go, and you kind of, make, and you can add times and so on, have repeats. So if you cut your hair every week, then you can have it to show up every kind of week. You can go by month. It's got this really nice intuitive way of going through the dates, or if you want to go by month, you can do that as well. Click on the month and boom, there we go. Another kind of neat addition to iOS 5, rather than having to go to the App Store and going through other apps and paying for them. Of course, iOS 5 is a free upgrade, so any kind of free app is pretty neat. Moving on, another really cool addition to iOS 5 is Twitter integration. Now, if you use Twitter like myself 24/7, then it's pretty neat. So, for example, you go into your photos, you have a picture here, and click on this, not click, but hit that button, and then you've right from within here, you can tweet it. Your Twitter account is linked in. And there we go, someone sent me a notification, perfect example. And you know, you can add a location, put your tweet in, and boom, send your tweet out. Not only that, but Twitter integration is heavily built into Safari, iCal and Google Maps. So if you want to tweet out cool websites while you're surfing the interwebs, you come across a cool site like this, you want to tweet it to your friends, hit tweet, and boom, you know, add location, put a message in. You don't have to add a location, but you know, and then fire it away. That is pretty cool, and I guess I will be using this feature quite a lot. The next feature is probably really high up there in terms of my favourite additions to iOS 5, and it's to the camera app. And basically, what you can now do is pinch and zoom. Isn't that what we always wanted? No, but seriously, that is really cool. You can also have a single tap to focus, which is pretty neat. In terms of options, you can have a grid layout for whatever reason to have more precise picturings. HDR, you can put it on and off from here. And here is the really nice bit. So you can turn the camera in. Let's say if you want to take this picture, instead of using the camera button here, you can use the volume button. So I'm going to take this picture using the volume button. Boom. How epic and sweet is that? The only thing that I can't seem to figure out, which is mentioned in the iOS 5 page, is basically the lock screen. So there should be a camera on the side for taking those instant or quick pictures. You know, you're on the bus, you see a fight happening, or you see this quite commonly in Glasgow. You want to take the picture effective immediately, and instead of doing this, open the camera up, and then by that time the whole kind of event is going by. There is a mention of this on the actual Apple website, and maybe it's going to be in the final one, I'm not sure, but there's a camera icon, so you just hit the camera icon right beside here and it takes you the camera app instead of unlocking it and then going. It just makes the process easier. I can't seem to figure out how you do that, but that is going to be a very neat thing once I figure out how you friggin' do it. This next edition is actually quite good, and I'm going to demonstrate it on the iPad. Safari tabbed browsing, and as the name suggests, it's basically tabs within your browser. So here we go. Here's the iGear website, here's the iGlassfusion website. If you want to open another one up, just press plus and you can go into Google and you can always open quite a few tabs up. It's very similar to what you would find on a Mac or a PC. It's just making the whole kind of process simple. You've also got Reader plus the reading list, which I've never used, but hey, they've given it. You know, it's here. I think I'm most excited about the tabs. But while staying on the iPad, they've also introduced gestures, which of course are welcomed. It just makes the whole tablet or iPad experience even better. And the first one is 4-finger swipe up the way, and that opens up this multitasking bar. It is kind of awkward if you're using this as a kind of stand. It's just really kind of weird doing it. But if you're using it in your hand, which most people use an iPad for, then it is, I guess, quite simple. Next gesture is quite identical to what's found in Line, and it's basically switching between apps, and you pretty much just kind of scroll through it. So you've got the camera, I've got my photo library opened up. This is the App Store that's opened. iMessage, you get the point. Rather than, you know, kind of opening up the multitasking bar and finding it, if you know kind of where an app is or whatever, you can easily just kind of scroll through it, which again is kind of welcomed when it comes to the iPad. We are slowly getting there in terms of, you know, the kind of getting the experience of a tablet-ish device. By each kind of software update, it's getting more smoother and it's getting more kind of defined. So I'm pretty excited for this. And the last multi-gesture feature on iOS 5 is you basically pinch it and it goes back to the home screen. So no matter which app you're in, you just want to go back to the home screen, boom, you're there. Personally, I am most probably excited for the gestures feature. I can't seem to figure out which my best one is, but iOS 5 in general seems to be gorgeous at the moment, and it's definitely an improvement over the previous ones. And just kind of finishing off, one of the things which Steve Jobs mentioned at WWDC, PC free. Basically, you don't need to connect your iPad to your Mac to kind of sync or do software updates, or you've just come home and you've bought a brand new iPhone 4S or an iPad or an iPod Touch. You don't need to hook it up to your PC or your Mac. It's just kind of put the iPad or iDevice on and you're ready to go from there on. Software updates, here we go, let's do a software update. Of course, it's not going to find any because this is a Gold Master release. And here are some of the settings, so you can even sync it up to your iMac, I don't have it here at the moment, or your MacBook Air, and you know, you can have all your apps and everything kind of in sync with no USB cable required. So I guess it's a bit clutter free and hassle free in some cases. So if you don't have a laptop and you're on holiday, you want to do stuff, do software updates, you don't have to wait until you get back. You've got Wi-Fi, boom, just do the software update from there. And most importantly, if you're abroad, you've just bought on the iPad, and you know, you don't have to wait until you come back home until you sync it. Open the box up wherever you bought it from, and boom, you're kind of ready to go. So guys, I hope you liked this video. Some fantastic features for iOS 5. If you're not getting the iPhone 4S, don't worry, because for the majority of you, iOS 5 is going to be a treat in itself. It's a free update. It's going to work on all these devices. I've been using it for the past 48 hours, and I must say it is a huge improvement. And I could probably say I'm going to be using the iPad a bit more for some of these features, just making it easier. Right now, when I see an iPad and a MacBook Air, it's always to the MacBook Air. But now I can kind of see me using the iPad a little bit more. What do you think? Have you been using iOS 5? Have you been using the early beta stages? This is the final release. The public release will be next week. Not many things will change apart from bug fixes or any bugs, lastminute.com bugs found within the coding or whatever. No new features are going to be announced. Everything is here and I've been using it and it's fantastic. A new stand was also announced. I'm not really going to demo it simply because it's kind of similar to iBooks and you guys can work that one out for yourself. Hope you liked this video. If you've been using it, leave your comments below, or a video response would be even better. What do you like? What don't you like? And guys, that is it for this video. Thanks for watching, and as always, I will see you guys in another life. Cheers!